Hello and welcome. My name's Kennedy from the Backstage with Kennedy show. I got a very old friend here today, Daniel Walton. He's in a band called the Wooly Mantis. He's also in the Dreamland Band, and he's releasing stuff as under his own name, Daniel Walton. Dan and I have known each other for years and years. He pretty much has always felt like extended family to me because we spent so much time together and with each other's family members at a young age. So yeah, I'm very happy to have Dan on the show. So, Dan, how you doing, bud?
I'm great, man. It's nice to chat with you, and nice to be on the show. Thanks for having me. And yeah, I feel the same way. I mean, like we spent like so much time playing hockey and growing up around each other growing up. So it's cool to catch up again. It's been a little bit, but
Yeah, man.
down to
I,
chat.
I think the last time I saw you was outside an LCBO in Burlington.
So I was just thinking about that today. I was like, when was the last time I saw Kennedy? I was like, I was definitely leaving at LCBO, and he was on his way to Hamilton. Like
Yeah, I think I had a show that night or something weird.
Well, that's all good.
Yeah, man. So, how are you getting through quarantine these days?
You know what? I've been staying real busy practicing a lot of guitar. At the beginning, I thought I was going to be writing a lot. I thought I would be really busy and inspired to do some writing, but that hasn't happened at all. To be honest, I haven't written a single song. I started the other day, which is cool, but it's been a while. And you know what? That's okay, because at the beginning, like I said, I was so set on getting all this writing done and this creative stuff happening. But I reminded myself of a very good piece of insight that one of my teachers gave me. And he said that creativity dies under pressure and expectation. And I was like, you know what? This is fine that I'm not writing. I've got all this ample time right now to focus on other aspects that will in turn help me be creative and write. So if I get more inspired to practice and work on other aspects of music, I can do that. So yeah, I've really just been practicing a lot, and I've been teaching a lot of lessons too. Teach a few lessons every day of the week, and I just keep busy with that, So it's been good. Lots of music, and yeah, plenty of practice.
Yeah, man. I'm seeing a lot of lives you're hopping on and stuff like that, like Instagram lives recently.
Yeah.
And you know what? It blows my mind to see you playing what you're playing right now, like this psychedelic rock. It's blows my mind because I don't obviously you remember, but when we were young, I remember hanging out in your basement, and you were the biggest Metallica fan.
Dude, I was like,
and
I was the biggest metalhead for so long, and
you were shredding Metallica for like 2 hours when I was at your house.
That's like all like, you know what? I have to give so much credit to Metallica and like Coheed and Cambria, Iron Maiden, Protest the Hero. Like that's the stuff that I spent years in high school playing on the guitar, and like that's what like developed my chops and ultimately my passion and love for like playing music. It's really grown and changed a lot over the years, obviously. But that's where it all started, man. I mean, that's what I wanted to start playing when I picked up my first guitar. All I wanted to do, even though I couldn't play anything because I just got a guitar, all I wanted to do was play Metallica. So I did. I just put on the CDs like super loud and played along as if what I was doing was perfect, which it wasn't at all. But eventually, like somewhere down the road, I remember going, hey, I think I'm actually playing this right. That's cool. And yeah, so it all just started with starting with heavy metal. I played in some metal bands over the years too, and some
pop. So what was the inspiration for the change? Like, you were actually quite a good guitarist, even like at the age when you were starting playing out. I was like, wow, Dan's actually incredible.
Thanks.
But as time went on, what made you decide, to switch it up to something more like this?
That's a good question. I mean, I said I always like wanted to play metal and stuff when I was younger, which is true. But I was also listening to tons of other music. I was listening to like Zeppelin and Floyd, of course, and that music's always been around me. And yeah, like I said, so I used to play in some metal bands over the years. I played in like a punk band and sang in like a hardcore punk band for about 3 years, toured across the country, um, both coasts, and did all kinds of cool shows, and I got like exhausted with it. The music, although I loved it at the time, it was like really draining, and I thought it would be healthy for me to begin expressing myself creatively in different ways. And in my mind, for me, not necessarily for everybody else, but a healthier way to me, rather than like going up and like thrashing on stage for 45 minutes and singing songs of difficult times and singing about like my emotional challenges became really tiring. So that was a big shift for me to say, I'm going to take a step back from this, which was hard to do because at the time we were really hitting it. We were getting some big gigs, and we were on the verge of doing like hopefully planning a tour through the States, and we were just about to record our third record, and it was a heavy time, and it was like a weird thing for me to just drop, but I felt it was important for me to do that. And yeah, like I said, I've just always loved psychedelic rock music and progressive music, and at the time I was also studying jazz music in school, so I was surrounded by different kinds of music, and I was opened up to the potential of different outlets of creativity.
Would you say that like this like enlightened type of music, the psychedelic type of music, changed your lifestyle as well, opposed to when you were listening to a lot of metal and playing a lot of metal?
I think it did. I never really like think about it that way, but it definitely did, because the music focuses on this like interesting kind of escapism almost. Like, I don't know if you've ever listened to much Yes and Genesis, like their early stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where their music is like, it feels like you're listening to a fairy tale, and like these long movements, and it just kind of changed the way I hear things, and I could feel emotions through the storytelling of the music rather than the storytelling of the words saying I'm pissed off or I'm upset and here's why, and you can also visibly see why, and that's cool. That like, art is art, do it however you want, but I got so inspired by hearing people expressing this creativity through these rich soundscapes and things like that, and it just totally changed the way I hear music, want to write music, and I just eventually became so immersed into 60s music culture, 70s culture, and it definitely changed my life. I've had a big turnaround in things, and I think it was a good thing. I'm happy of the stages that I went through, and I think that my time with my band Downstream was a very important part of my growth as a human and an artist. But I definitely wouldn't change any of it. Like, if someone said, "Oh, if you could take away all the stuff you do with Downstream and just be in Wooly Mantis for this whole time," I would say no, because even though I don't listen to that kind of music and play that kind of music anymore, it's still influenced and has an impact on how I write and how I play and things like that. So, yeah, but it definitely did change things for me when I started to get into different kinds of music and art.
No doubt. So you just mentioned 60s and 70s music, and kind of the role that played for you. So you recently recorded at Chalet Studios, where, I mean, we're not going as far back as the 60s and 70s necessarily, but Rush and the Bare Naked Ladies recorded there. How is recording at Chalet Studios, being that it is such a larger than life type of thing, to be able to record there?
It really is that larger than life. Like when, oh man, it's crazy. So yeah, we've done 2 recording sessions at Chalet. We recorded our first record, The Cosmic Venture, there, and we just recorded 3 follow-up singles, which are going to be coming out very soon, which I'm very hyped about. And while we were looking for some studios to check out to do our first record, we heard about this place called Chalet, and I thought, okay, cool. So we wrote it down as like one of the extras in the list, and we started hearing about some bands who had recorded there, and and we ended up meeting one of the engineers there at a show that we played, and we're chatting with him, and he's like, "Yeah, why don't you guys come and check out the studio sometime? Your music sounds great. It'd be fun to record it." Yeah, sure, okay, we're cool. And we showed up, and after doing some more research, I was like, "Yo, shit, man, Rush recorded a few records here." And then I did some more digging and found out that they actually lived at this studio for several months at a time while they were off season touring and
That's
while
wild.
they were writing things. So then I was really excited to go and check it out. And when we got there, I was just floored. Beyond the fact that that cool bands had recorded there, just the space was so beautiful, man. Like this massive open room with these big windows that looked out to just acres and acres of trees.
The views are incredible.
The views were just amazing, man. It was so gorgeous. And the equipment they had all this great vintage gear at disposal, nice vintage board to record all the music into, biggest live room where you're nice and close quarters with the band. We stayed at the place too for the whole week. So we were just immersed in Wooly Mantis, and we were immersed in the music that we were making for an entire week nonstop. But you're walking around and you're like, Getty would have been recording his things here, or so and so playing this here, and there's pictures of all the people who've recorded there. It was an inspiring space. It was really cool. And the team that we worked with there, Justin Melly was our engineer and producer. And we worked tirelessly for like a week straight to make that record. We did like 5-6 days straight of about 9 a.m. to 1 a.m. days. It was heavy.
Justin Melly's a good dude, man.
He's a hell of a producer.
I know him too through the music scene. He's a good dude. He's a good dude.
He's a great guy. Nice.
Shout out to Justin.
Yeah, I look forward to working with him again, and he's doing quite well for himself as a Juno winner for a record with Gizzy, and working with Crown Lands. He's doing great. Nice to see people doing what they love. I mean, I think he's just as much an artist as we are.
Yeah.
Working on the music, as he's just as skilled and creative as at putting it together. So it was great to have that conjunction of work.
So there is, for anybody wondering what Chalet Studios is like and hasn't been there and wanting to see a little bit more of what Dan's talking about here, he does have some documentary series out for Wooly Mantis. So I'll definitely put the link in the YouTube bio here so that you guys can take a look at that, because I watched it and I was pretty impressed, not gonna lie.
Dude, when I look at that, I was like, wow, we look like rock stars, man. That's cool. My good buddy Evan came out and filmed that. We used to actually play in Downstream together. He went to Humber for a film and really kind of found his passion there. And I said, we're going to make some music. We're going to go and lay down some singles that we feel really strong about. And this is our second time going there. We really want someone there to document all this, because last time it was super cool, and we know this is an awesome space. It looks good. It's got history. So why don't you come out and film it? And it's like, okay, like, what do you want me to do with the film? Like, are we just going to do like a video or something like that? And we kind of brainstormed for a bit. We thought, why don't we do it as like a 3-part mini series? So we did that, and he came through so hard. So we're going to make another plug. Evan Alfano. If anyone out there who's watching this is looking for some video work, some real good video work. I mean, this guy showed up so prepared, man. He pulls up to Chalet with his car and just like lights, camera, action, like it was one-man team just going so hard. And when we got that footage back, we were all sitting together in Mantis, and we're like, this is crazy looking. Like, this is so cool. So hit up Evan Alfano if you're ever looking for some great video. Great guy to work with, and the work speaks for itself.
Perfect. So Dan, speak of beautiful places. You are one of not that many people who got to go to Bong Mansion in Hamilton. Okay. Yeah. So anybody who doesn't know about Bong Mansion, Ben Rispin from the band Rules, he also is he has his own podcast called Into the Weeds. Yeah. He had Dan at the Bong Mansion. Rest in peace, Bong Mansion. It's not a thing anymore. it used to be a mob building, and it ended up getting they ended up moving out, and it was closing down. So Ben got the property for a bit and created this awesome creative space. So Dan got to go there. So I'm pretty jealous of him because I personally didn't.
It was pretty cool. It was kind of like, I was there a few times. I wasn't there. Like, I know people who are there like all the time and spend a lot of time doing work there on various creative projects. I got to be there a handful of times. And to be completely honest, man, every time I was there, I'm like, is this real? Like, what the hell is going on right now? This is bizarre. Like, it was this swingers mansion, man. Like, there's like a sex room in the basement with like a stripper pole and like tables with mirrors on them, perfect for doing you know what on and doing your thing, having a good time. Like, there's like an indoor pool with windows looking in, so you can peep on the people swimming if that's your thing. I mean,
and no water in the pool anymore.
No water in the pool. So we did we shot a music video in there that we might put together. We just kind of did it for a laugh. Just for like, you know, we've got the space, might as well see if we can put something together. And so it's out there, but I don't know if it's going to be out there one day. We did some shoots there. We saw a monster truck there. I mean,
that's pretty wicked.
It is crazy, man. That place was wild, and I gotta hand it to the people who were working there. Like the Press X to Get High guys, the Into the Weeds dudes. Like they busted their asses working there, doing their podcast and their content because they knew that it was this cool, unique space, and it was some leverage for them for their content, and they really went full out with it. And they had artists in. It was really a great spot for creatives to just come and hang out. People would shoot big videos there, live sessions, photo shoots. I did a few photo shoots there, and it was just this really cool like creative hub for the people in like Toronto, Burlington, Hamilton kind of area. And yeah, man, I wish Bong Mansion was my mansion.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. Yeah, I liked it a lot.
I feel like if I had that space, this podcast would just be that much crazier because it would be. It's like the perfect creative space, man. It's so wild.
Yeah, like I was there for a shoot one day, and there's like I was doing some promo shots for a show that I had in LA and some things like that. And I was working with a great photographer, James Heslip, who did so much work there, like probably 500 shoots. Like I did a shoot and he's like, I got another one later. I got another one after that, another one after that. And that's my week. I'm like, okay, holy smokes. So I'm there for a shoot. There's someone filming a live session in the pool. 2 rooms over, there's another person doing a photo shoot. In the basement, there's people doing a podcast. Outside, there's people planning a tour. I'm like, how did I end up here? It's crazy. I just thought it was pretty neat, man. Like I said, it's just being around all these like-minded people just doing their own thing. It's like nice to see people working so hard at what they really love.
Absolutely. Cool.
Yeah.
So Dan, you did just recently release a single under your name, Daniel Walton. Tell us about it. Tell me about it.
Cool. So my single is like it's kind of like a demo. It's like a preview release of my song Queen of the Highway, which will be on Spotify very soon. But right now you can find it on Bandcamp. That was a song that I recorded on a limb like that. My friend of mine, Adam Clark, we were talking about some music ideas and things, and he was just kind of throwing some ideas at me about my solo project. And he said, I know a producer in Toronto, and he's looking for work. He's a great engineer, and he's looking for some work right now. He just finished up an internship. Hit him up and go and work with him. Tell him I sent you. And I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. And we got talking, and I sent him the tunes. He's like, yeah, man, come and why don't we record that and let's just bang it out in a day. So we did, and he gave me his rate for the day. And I'm like, holy smokes, this guy really is looking for work. So he gave me an offer I couldn't turn down. And we got along really well. His name's Kyle Marchant. He plays in a really cool band called Nightwell. And he actually he engineers and produces their records. But that's besides the point. We started working on this tune, Queen of the Highway, and we got along really well. Had a nice day in Toronto, chilling in Leslieville. doing our thing, and we just banged out the tune in one day. It's a song about it's a story. It's like a made up story about somebody who is kind of out for a walk, and they see this beautiful woman in the backseat of a car, and they do one of these as the car is driving by. And the person driving in the car, the girl in the back seat, kind of does one of these too, and they like lock up. Like the song is just is like a story about love that never really existed, almost.
Okay.
And when I play it live, I say this is a song for maybe not a romantic love, but an interest that happens to you just like that.
Yeah.
Like you could be on the subway and you see someone, you're like, oh my gosh, that person looks really, really interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe not a romantic way at all, just anything. You're like, person seems cool, and then next thing you know, they're off the subway and they're gone, and you never see them again in your life.
I wish I could have talked to them, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So this song is just kind of inspired by that idea of, and like how often that happens to people in different situations. So it was a tune that I wrote a couple of years ago about that, and it was fun just to get it recorded and put out. And it's getting mixed by a good friend of mine right now. It's going to be on Spotify pretty soon. But like I said, you can check out the first version of it on Bandcamp, which will only be a little bit longer before I take it down for the full version. So yeah, check it out.
Check it out while you can.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful track, man. It really is. The way that your voice works with the guitar is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it was fun working on it. Recording it was cool because I'm used to coming from playing with a band, right? So we programmed a little bit of percussion. I played some piano on it. I played some slide guitar and sang. It was a different thing getting to record everything myself.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt good. It was a nice bit of work. Good day.
So I like to hear. All right, everybody. So make sure you go check out that Bandcamp link. That's going to be in the bio, as well as the Wooly Mantis docu-series. That's going to be in there as well. Check that out. And check out Dan's music in general, because guy's really talented. So make sure you do that. Dan, I appreciate you coming on the podcast, man. Thank you so much, dude. When this is all over, we need to hang out, okay? It's been way too many years now, and it's bothering me.
I know it's been quite some time. You know, like everyone's lives going all these different directions. It's funny, like you grow up with all these people, and you think that like you're gonna stick around and you'll like know these people forever, and you do know them forever. But then you're like, oh my god, I haven't seen this person in so long, and it's because like, you know, we're just all shooting off in these different directions and doing our own thing, and it's great. But when we can connect like this, I think it's cool. And right now, I think a lot of people are doing a lot of reconnecting with people, and that's something good that has come from this, I think. And it's been nice chatting with you, man. I look forward to hanging sometime soon.
Absolutely, brother. You take care, right?
Peace.
Love you, bro.
Take
Easy.
care, bro.